So what was your own experience in graduate school like?
Well, it was horrible and it was wonderful. Um, it was horrible in the respect that it's really hard work. It's really, really, you know, brain numbing work, and you can really tie your brain up into a knot, especially if you try to do anything that is the least bit philosophical in your work, which I made the mistake of trying to do. But no, I mean, you know, it's often the case that you know, sit there and think, you know, you've been reading a brilliant scholar and think, you know, I will never, ever come close to being able to do this, to write this kind of work, to do this kind of scholarship. And that can be depressing when you are a graduate student, and that is essentially the goal. And yet, I have to say that there just were some wonderful times. I mean, it's a time when, you know, you're reading a lot, you're discovering a huge amount of things, you're learning all this great new stuff. And at the same time, you are making steps towards contributing, actually, you know, making contributions to scholarship. And when you discover something that nobody else has discovered, it's a fabulous feeling. It's really when all of a sudden, you know, things come together in your mind, in your head, and somehow you make sense of, you know, all this chaos, and you're able to, you know, actually say something interesting in a paper that, you know, could get published, and that's really exhilarating and exciting, and you know, it's probably the only time in your life when you're able to pursue something that interests you to its conclusion. You can, you know, you have the ability to follow that, you know, to the end, and that's something that you know, that you rarely get that, and it's really wonderful when you're able to experience that. So yeah, I had both kinds of experiences there.
Just to bring it back a little bit to your graduate experience again, did you encounter faculty that seemed as frigid as those at Lime University?
Well, yeah, a few, but you know, humor depends upon exaggeration. So I did exaggerate a little bit there, but you know, most of my professors were just great people, really wonderful people, and you know, some of them are still my friends, and you know, I have nothing but good things to say about them. Yeah, there were one or two that I had difficulties with, but
because I can imagine it being very discouraging. There are places in the novel where it's just like, oh, how do they keep going?
Yeah, that's true. Well, it is interesting. At the University of Chicago, which was my graduate school, it is sort of a sink or swim environment. I mean, they kind of toss you into the pool, and you know, you either sink or swim. You don't get a whole lot of help. So that's devastating for people who really need mentoring or direction, because you're kind of lost. But on the other hand, if you do succeed, it's terrific, because it proves to yourself that you can do it. You prove to yourself that you can do it. It makes you feel, yeah, you know, I can handle this. I can handle this. And so there's that good side, that bad side. But yeah, there were some frigid ones.